Hey folks, CA Rachana Ranade here, and I'm really excited for today's video because after a long time I have done a proper and handwritten analysis of an IPO summary video, right from IPO details to we are going to talk about what does the company do, we are going to talk about the financial and operating parameters, industry analysis, risks, litigations, peer comparison, valuation. Everything is what we are going to cover in today's video. And something special about today's video is that because after a long time I did this handwritten notes and I was feeling nostalgic today. So what we are going to do is, instead of any PowerPoint presentation, I'm going to actually show you the RHP and show you how to do the analysis or how to summarize the whole IPO in a short span of time. Before we move on, if you can dedicate just one weekend to upgrade your skills, I highly recommend this 2-day free AI training by Outskill, who is the partner for today's video and also world's first AI focused education platform, which is backed by top AI investors and founders. It's a live 16-hour program happening this Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And though it's valued at 10,000 rupees, you'll get it absolutely free because you are a part of our community. You'll learn something like prompt engineering, no-code data analysis, and a lot more. Over 1 lakh professionals from 40 plus countries, including those in tech, sales, marketing, HR, business, have already joined this workshop. I'm getting my entire team to attend this, and you should too. Slots are filling fast, so just click the link in the description, book yours now, and don't forget to join the WhatsApp group for more updates. Also, don't forget to join the session on 10 a.m. this Saturday. Well, let's get started with the key details about the business now. First things first, I will show you the prospectus, and I'm on page number 224, where we are going to understand about the overall business overview first, and then we'll talk about some interesting IPO details. Okay. First things first, what does the company do? It operates a technology-driven, full-stack online service marketplace for quality-driven services and solutions across various home and beauty categories. Actually, this sentence sums up what does the company do. Now, what is it? It's a technology-driven. It's completely based on technology. Full-stack online service marketplace. Now, why are they saying we are a marketplace? Now, imagine something like Zomato. What do? They are a marketplace for whom? For people who want to order food, and they connect them with people who have hotels, basically, who can supply food, right? And that is why Zomato becomes a marketplace. Now, if I were to understand about what is Uber, Uber is about connecting people who want to ride from point A to point B. And we have taxi drivers on the other hand, and who actually coordinates or collaborates them is the marketplace, which is Uber. Similarly, if I'm talking about services, home services, beauty services, in that case it is Urban Company, where there are people who want such services and there are service providers at the other end. But of course, the company says that we are not just a sheer connector for these two, but we also have our own data-driven technologies. We provide a lot of training services to the service providers, a lot more things as well, right? Which type of home and beauty services are provided by this company? For that, they have very clearly mentioned here. We provide other services like what? Cleaning services, pest control, electrician, plumbing, carpentry, appliances servicing and repair. Appliances servicing can be a basic example can be like AC servicing, repair. Okay. Then it could be painting, skincare, hair grooming, massage. Oh my, so many points, so many different services that they offer, right? Now, in addition to this, what are they saying? That these services are delivered by trained, that's what I was mentioning, trained and independent service professionals at the consumer's convenience. Okay. Are they operating only in India? No. So, first things first, what have we understood? They are providing services in India. Okay. By the way, how many cities across India? 51 cities across India with services is what we understood right now. Okay. That is segment number 1 of their business. What is the segment number 2 of their business? Same services, but outside India, UAE, Singapore, and also they have entered into a joint venture in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, KSA. Okay, so total 51 cities, by the way, 51 cities across India, UAE, Singapore, excluding cities served by our joint venture, of which 47 are in India. So out of 51, 47 are in India. Balance cities will be in UAE, Singapore, and of course, they also, as I mentioned, they also have entered into a JV in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Okay, so that is the second business segment, same services but international level. Now what is the third business segment? They are saying we also operate under the brand name Native. Now what is sold under this brand name of Native? They said that we have expanded into home solutions with the launch of water purifier and electronic door locks. So this third segment basically is into a product, sale of products like what? Water purifiers and electronic door locks. Okay. Now if I were to understand how much revenue is generated from each of these three segments, if I am talking about India, home and beauty services, 77% of the revenue comes from this first segment. If I am talking about the second segment, which is international business, 12.85% is generated from their international business, and Native, which is the water purifier and door lock segment, that contributes to 10.13%. Well, now that we know what does the company do, I also want to tell you about something very interesting. You know, many people are interested in, okay, chalo, theek hai, I want to know about the company, agreed. I want to know about the IPO details, but I also want to know whether it's a fresh issue or whether it's an OFS. Okay, now for that, company is coming up with an IPO from 10th September to 12th of September. Interesting point coming up, pay attention. 10th September to 12th September. Total IPO is of one, I'll take you to that section also. It's on the very first page. Okay. Total IPO is 19,000 million, means what? 1900 crore rupees ka IPO. Okay. Out of that, 472 crores is what? Fresh issue. Okay. Company is going to get this money. What are they going to do with that? We'll understand later. Out of that, OFS, so out of 1900 crores, OFS is of 1428 crores. Now, who is the selling shareholder? You can see a list of selling shareholders. Excel India, Bessemer, la 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 la. The question is, okay, what is the IPO price band? IPO price band is 98 rupees to 103 rupees per share. So, these selling shareholders, if the price is fixed at 103, these shareholders are going to get money at 103 rupees per share. Okay. Interesting to know would be at what cost did they buy? Okay. Excel bought it at 3 rupees 77 paisa. Okay. 3 rupees for Excel. Bessemer 7 rupees. Elevation Capital 5 rupees. Internet Fund 61 rupees. And VYC 11 Limited 20 rupees. I know sometimes it is more, you know, we feel that humko kab milega itna paisa. When will we be able to make so much profit where they bought the share at 3 rupees and they are able to sell it at 103. Oh my God. Anyways, but what is in our hand? We have something in our hand wherein we can at least try and analyze the company and try and make a full use of our analysis to decide whether we should apply for this IPO or not. So in the next section, we'll try and dig down more into the details about this company. Alright, now that we have understood about the OFS part, we talked about the selling shareholders as well. Now let's understand about the fresh issue. Fresh issues of 472 crore rupees. Now what are they going to use this money for? They have very clearly mentioned this in this table. They are going to use this for new technology development and cloud infrastructure 190 crores. Lease payment for their offices 75 crores and expenditure towards marketing activities 90 crores. See, if I have to take a decision about any company, whether I should apply or not, for that I would really want to check what are they going to use this money for. If I'm convinced that okay, this is good enough, this can potentially increase the revenue, then I may be a little bit more comfortable while applying. So let us check what are they going to use this money for, what do they mean by new technology development and cloud infrastructure. Now they have given a very interesting example here. Okay, they have said, so basically even I have used Urban company for different services. Once I wanted to book for a plumber and also for one other beauty service. Okay, now I found that I was not able to book or club both these services into a single order. So I booked for a beauty service, let's say a haircut, I booked for that, and then I also wanted to add one more service. It was not allowing me to do that. I just checked out and I said forget it, the second service I'll see, and I never booked that service. So was that like a revenue loss for that company? Yes, and I'm really happy that they have mentioned in the RHP that they are going to enable multi-category checkout, allowing customers to book multiple services in a single transaction for convenience and efficiency. Can that potentially increase the revenue? Yes. You can read this also. I have already highlighted the key points here. Okay. Plus, they have also said that they are going to expand the role of AI in consumer and service professional support also. Now, one more point that I found pretty interesting is about the advertisement charges. Because please understand, as Zomato, that's my personal take. Okay. Zomato, Swiggy, Uber, Ola, as popular as they are, I'm not sure how or I can say how many people have used Zomato versus how many people have used Urban Company. There's going to be a stark difference is what I feel, right? So they need to spend towards advertisement. If they are able to reach out to more and more people, they may book the services, which can potentially increase their revenue. Okay, you can see here that yes, they are saying that as per a report by Reed Sear, the overall home service industry has a penetration, online penetration of less than 1%, and they are into this category where unorganized, fragmented, offline occupies 99% of the share. You can imagine, you want to call for a plumber, what would you do? Just call the plumber who is right across the road maybe. But how many people might actually go in for Urban Company, book from there? So that Kopra wala bhaiya, kone wala bhaiya, whatever, plumber across the road, such people, they account for almost 99% of the market share. Only less than 1% is at online service industry, right? So this needs to increase, and for that they are saying this, that we are going to use the IPO proceeds for even advertisement spend. They do a lot of advertisement, brand based, performance based, even influencer marketing. Just in case if you are wanting to make people aware about the finance angle as well, you can consider, okay, just kidding. Anyways, so if you see here, advertisement expenses, they have, pretty high, 135 crores, but in a decreasing trend, 121 crores, 118 crores. That's how they have been spending. The advertisement spend have slightly increased if I were to do Q1 YOY analysis. So I hope you have understood about the end use of money for this company. Now that we have also understood about the key IPO details, when does the company come with the IPO, we have understood the split of OFS, fresh issue. We have also understood about what does the company do. Let's also understand one more important parameter. Now let's go to the financial analysis perspective. I'll take you to page number 226 for that. Okay. So page number 226, what can we see here? Let's come to some important points. There is a very nice point which is about NTV. I'll give you a quick example of what NTV is. Okay. Basically, assume that you book for a haircut. Okay. Or let's say a spa service. Okay. Spa service is at 1,000 rupees. GST 18%. Okay. So total bill is 1,180. Assume you get 80 rupees discount. So what is your NTV? Your net transaction value is 1,100 rupees. Okay. So that, is it in an increasing trend or is it in a decreasing trend, is what we have to do when we analyze any company. What can we see here? NTV, is it increasing? Yes. From 20,000 million, I'm rounding it off, 20,000 to 25,000, 32,000. Even if I were to check Q1 YOY, 8,000 to 10,000. Is it increasing? Yes. Now please understand, 1,100 NTV, does the entire amount go to Urban Company? Answer is no. They have to pay a major chunk to whom? To the service professional. Now, whatever they retain, by the way, it's also given in the prospectus, you can check it. Roughly, I think 28 to 30% is what Urban Company retains. Balance, almost 70% is what would be paid out. Okay. So for them, revenue is going to be only roughly 30% of the NTV. And here you can see that revenue from operations is also in an increasing trend, from 6,000 to 8,000 to 11,000. Even if you check Q1 YOY, up from 2,800 to 3,600. Good for the company. Contribution margin. Contribution is basically sales minus your variable cost. Is that roughly the same? So yes, roughly around 19%. But you can see that is also in an increasing trend, from 16.5%. It has been increasing. Latest Q1 data, 19.67% is the highest in this given data point. By the way, if you want to learn more about contribution margin, operating leverage concept, anyone who is a pro investor member, the stock of the month video is going to come live on this 5th of September, and in that I have explained the concept of operating leverage and contribution margin in absolute detail. So do check out the video, pro investor members. Okay, right. Adjusted EBITDA, has it gone from loss to positive to profit? Yes. Even if you see adjusted EBITDA margin, which used to be negative, has come as a positive number for the first time in 2025. Even if you check Q1 numbers, shows a better trend. What about the absolute profitability? Restated profit loss before tax, PBT basically, was in losses in financial year 23, 24 in loss, 25 in profit. Even Q1 numbers, Q1 FY24, 25, 126 million, but a drop to 56 million. Now, when I read this, I was like, really, the profit has dropped? Is there any reason? Have they mentioned anything? Of course, a lot of things are mentioned, but one interesting point that I saw, they have mentioned development in the 3 months ended June 30th, 2025, and they said, historically, in our Indian consumer services segment, we have typically experienced higher demand for our AC cleaning services and refrigerator repair services. These are their summer category services. And they said these summer category services accounted for 28% of their revenue of what? Indian consumer services segment. Okay, because if you remember, three segments, India, international, and their native brand, right? If I'm talking about Indian consumer services, उसमें से 28% revenue used to come from summer category services. Pretty big chunk, and that dropped to 23.6%. Why? They said in the 3 months ended 30th June 2025, parts of India experienced unseasonal rains, resultant lower temperatures for most of the quarter. If the heat is less, overall heat is less, of course people may not go for AC repairing, fridge repairing, and that is why they said that we did see an impact, a lowering of revenue in Q1 FY25. So I hope you have also understood about this profit wala metrics. Let's talk about two non-finance related, non-numbers which don't appear in the P&L, two matrices, but interesting ones. This is where we were. We did talk about NTV, we did talk about revenue from operations, contribution margin, adjusted EBITDA, restated profit and loss. Now let's come to the last 2 points. Annual transacting customers. Who are they? Any customer who has at least done one transaction in the previous year. That's an annual transacting customer. Okay, this number should obviously ideally increase if it were to be good for the company. Has this number been continuously increasing? Yes, seems to be the highest one in the latest quarter. And also if I'm talking about average monthly active service professionals, whoever is providing the service, this number is also increasing and is at the highest point in the latest Q1 FY25-26 data. So I hope you have understood about the basic operational matrices, financial matrices, NTV, contribution margin. I'm just checking whatever page numbers I have mentioned. I hope this part is also absolutely clear. Now let's move on with the industry analysis. Well, so many things can be talked about in this section, but overall I think it's very logical, right? That if you're talking about a company like Urban Company with rising nuclear households, is that going to be a positive sign for them? Yes. Disposable income of Indians is increasing. The overall urbanization is increasing. If I'm talking about female participation in the workforce, that is increasing. So many points. Tech savvy young individuals are increasing. And why am I saying that? Digital transactors account for 30 to 32%, but that is expected to grow to 56 to 65%, which will be 14 to 16% CAGR. See, are you interested to access to internet? Yes. Interested to smartphone users, how many people have that? Yes, but wait, even if people have access to internet, even if people have smartphones, if they are not digitally transacting on it, then a company like Urban Company will not be able to benefit, right? And the best part is that anyways, access to internet is increasing, but this is the highest pace of expected CAGR, which is the digital transactors, and that is going to be a positive sign for them, right? E-commerce market size is increasing, again a positive for them. Now, if I talk about e-commerce penetration in India, it's at 7%. Look at China, 34%, right? One more interesting data point here is that number of gig workers, that is also increasing. I hope everyone knows the concept of gig workers, people who are not doing full-time employment, but something like a person who is just going for, going and doing what, let's say a spa service, is rendering a spa service, or a person who is just giving a salon service. That person is not tied for a 10 to 6 job. That person will be termed as a gig worker. Okay, so that is also on a rise. So all these points tell us that overall industry level, this overall industry of home services market. See, look at the TAM. TAM is also increasing. So I mean, I can just go on and on about industry analysis. But one point that I would definitely want to share with you all, it's in figure number 13. Which if you check here quickly, I have also pointed this out just some time ago. Online market share of home services. Currently, it is less than 1%. If you remember, I told that to you, 99% unorganized sector. Same thing can be seen here, 0.8% online. And it is expected to go to 1.3% by FY30. And this again translates into a CAGR of 18 to 22%. Now, let's move on to the risk of this IPO, risk related factors, again clearly given in the prospectus, titled as risk factors. We are on page number 38. the very first risk that they have very clearly mentioned is that we have incurred net losses, negative operating cash flows in the past. We saw that for the year 23-24, and they have mentioned that if we are unable to generate adequate revenue growth and increase cost efficiency, we may not be able to generate positive operating cash flows and maintain profitability in the future, and our viability as an operating business will be adversely affected. Very clearly they have mentioned this. So is that a pretty important risk factor? Yes. And they have very clearly said if you are not able to generate those revenues, now for that more and more people will have to download the app, they'll have to do advertisement, they'll have to ensure that people are also transacting on that, customers are happy. Even if I'm talking about the service providers, they should also be paid out well. They should not be taking additional appointments, bypassing the app. That is also important. And have all these points been given in the risk factors again? Yes. You can very clearly see risk 2. If we are unable to continue to provide a satisfactory experience to our consumers, our business and reputation may be materially and adversely affected. Let's move on to one more point that I was talking about, which is risk number 4. If we are unable to attract and retain service professionals on our platform, the point that I said, directly bypassing them. For example, if a person takes a salon service from one of the urban company professionals, he likes the service, he says next time I'll directly contact you. If that happens, is that person bypassing the platform? Yes. And that could be one of the risks. I'm sure urban company would have their own different measures to ensure that this does not happen. But they have of course mentioned that as one of the risks. Okay. Point number 3, they say that we face intense competition from traditional offline players. We already know that. We have talked about this. 99% is the market share with them only. One more different risk that I saw, which is risk number 15. It's on page number 53. I'll quickly take you to page number 53. What is this risk about? This risk says our business would be adversely affected if service professionals were classified as employees, workmen or quasi-employees. Now what is this? Currently the people that they have on their platform, they are independent contractors, gig workers. They are not treated as employees. Now if they are to be treated as employees, if certain laws and regulations change, if they were to reclassify them as employees, they mention that it would result in additional obligations on their company, including payment of statutory dues such as provident fund, obtaining additional registrations, licenses. That's a pretty big one, right? They said our business may be adversely affected by unrest amongst service professionals on our platform and union activities. But they have very nicely pointed out what are all the different risk factors. That's it that they have mentioned. Let's come to the litigations part, and for that I'm going to take you to page number 68. Today I'm going through a much traditional points. I've written down all the page numbers, no PPT today. So if I were to understand about the litigations, nothing serious. I always check any litigations against the company, against their directors, against their promoters. But if you see, if I'm talking about criminal proceedings, no criminal proceedings against the company, none against their subsidiaries, just one against their director, but none against their promoters, none against their key managerial personnel, none against their senior management, right? So no material or no litigation, criminal litigation, nothing serious is what I felt. So just one more point, different interesting point. I'm sure you have heard about this name, so just quickly mentioning this out. This has also been given in the risk factors. They have mentioned that Kent RO System Limited has filed a civil suit against the company on September 5th, 2024, and they said they have alleged an infringement of patent by their water purifiers which are sold under their native brand of the company. So basically Kent is saying that they have infringed their patent, and that is how the native brand water purifiers are being sold. Now for that, has urban company also sold, have they also said something? So obviously yes. Oh, by the way, Kent are saying that they are seeking for a permanent injunction against the company from manufacturing, selling or offering for sale any products that infringes the suit patent as well as the damages. But what is urban company saying? Thereafter, urban company saying they have filed a written statement in response to Kent suit refuting, saying dismiss, refuting the infringement claims, demonstrating the invalidity of the asserted claim and requesting for dismissal of Kent suit along with a counterclaim challenging the validity of the asserted claim in the suit patent. So I just thought I should give you an example of what a civil suit could also look like. This is what they have mentioned in this one of the additional risk factors as well. Sorry, in one of the litigation points as well, right? So that is it about the risks, the litigations. All in all, I hope you have understood a lot of points about the company. We started with the IPO details. I talked about the price band being from 98 to 103. By the way, one more point was that if you are an employee of the company, you have a 9 rupees discount as well. In addition to that, I talked about the IPO dates, 10 to 12 September. If I'm talking about peers, by the way, there are no listed peers. If I'm talking about the PE, pre-IPO PE stands at 59.71 and post-IPO at 61.68. Is this a little bit on a higher side? 60 plus gives me a little bit discomfort. But if I talk about other new age companies, look for Zomato's P sky high. It's if I'm not mistaken, it's around 900 or maybe even more than that. If you talk about Policy Bazaar, that is again a new age company on a very higher side. In comparison with other new age companies, this is on a lower side for sure. But there is unfortunately no listed peer. So again, directly comparing is going to be difficult. What do you feel? What are you going to do with this IPO? Are you going to apply? Yes, no? Let me know in the comment section. Have you ever used Urban Company Services? Do let me know about that in the comment section as well. About their GMP, you can check for yourself. Subscription, of course, is yet to start, long time to go. So keep on tracking the subscription status as well. Keep on tracking our channel as well for more and more updates. If you have still not subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell icon. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Jai Hind and bye-bye. You might have come across such advertisements on various social media platforms. Please note, all of these are fraudsters promising unbelievable returns through stock tips. I don't provide any calls or advisory services. I provide only educational content through my social media handles and through my website rachanaranade.com and rachanaranade.in.